What's up, everyone? We are doing a very special episode of Mobile Suit Blackman. I'm Johnny Blackman, and I am excited. Zeta Gundam is one of my favorite Gundam series, and we've got 5 kits here, 3 high grade, 2 real grade, kits that represent some of the best in Gunpla in my opinion, and best all around from the anime series. We've got the real grade Mark II, real grade Zeta Gundam, the high grade gold coated Hyaku Shiki, and the Dodai Kai, as well as the Mega Bazooka Launcher. Check it out, like the video, subscribe, and let's get right into it. Thanks. So, Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam is probably my single most favorite of the full-on Universal Century Gundam series, and the designs are a big reason why. But to go into that, I'll probably need to give you a little bit of backstory to explain how we get to this part of the Universal Century. So, Mobile Suit Gundam happens, it's the 1-year war. They beat down the Zeon forces and it's all good. A few years later, we have the events in Operation Stardust where some of the lingering Zeon folks are like, hey, you know what? We're going to get back at you. We are just going to steal your new awesome mobile suit. So Gato pulls a staple move in Mobile Suit Gundam, hops into the brand new GP03 armed with nukes and says, bye bye, I'm gone. And the rest of that OAV is Ku Araki chasing him down, and eventually they fight it out, and that's that. Years after that, Earth Federation is like, you know what, we can't have that. We're not going to have that again, so we're going to have this special group of us called the Titans to hunt you guys down. We are not going to have you just come back and take our suits and beat us down. So a few years go by and we have this group called the Titans that operates technically under the Earth sphere, and they end up being jerks. They take things a little bit too far and do more harm than good. So as a result, we've now got some freedom fighters who know better that end up fighting the Titans and form the anti-Earth Union group. I'll call them the AUEG. This is where we get caught up, and we are now at Zeta Gundam and enter Quattro Begina and Camille Biden. At this point, I'll just take a moment and recognize that Season 2 of 00 Gundam is actually very similar to Zeta Gundam, where the Gryps conflict ends up being where the Alaws are similar to the Titans and take over the Earthsphere Federation, and Celestial Being resembles the AU who are fighting back. So we have Camille Biden, who is the 80s version of Amuro Ray, and he's less classy in my opinion. He's definitely got some attitude issues. Now, similar to Amuro, he is a new type. Also like Amuro, his father developed the Mark II Gundam, similarly to Amuro's father, who developed the RX-78. Again, like Amuro, in the pilot episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, Camille hops into the Mark II and just starts fighting. Now, his reasons are definitely different. He's offended by the Titans officer making fun of his name. Rather than just defending his colony, his people, he cops an attitude. During the moments where Camille has decided to hop into this Mark II, Quattro, aka Char with the sunglasses and the red jacket and the slick look, is planning on stealing the Mark II for the AU. When he sees Camille's fighting, he's like, hey, doing a good job. Wanna join us? We're gonna whoop some butt. Camille's like, you know what? Cool, let's go. And from then on, Camille is part of the AUEG. So this is basically the pilot episodes of Zeta Gundam. And in the beginning, you do see Char, aka Quattro Begina, piloting the red Rick Diaz, while Camille is in the Mark II, but it doesn't stay that way. Because Camille is a new type and has those technical abilities, he eventually helps design the Zeta Gundam, which later becomes his primary suit in Zeta Gundam. Because Camille's able to steal the Mark II successfully, the AUEG is able to use the technology from the Mark II to develop more mobile suits. From there we get the Hyaku Shiki for Char and the Zeta Gundam for Camille. You'll notice that in the beginning of Zeta Gundam, the Mark II has Titan's colors, which are the dark blues rather than the mobile suit white. The Mark II in service of the AUEG gets the color swap when MkII starts to pilot the Mark II while Camille is piloting the Zeta Gundam. When we first see MkII in the anime, she actually works for the Titans and later defects to the AUEG after a series of events that I won't spoil for those who haven't seen the show. So there you have it. That is a bit of a rundown for the three protagonist suits, I'll call it, of the Gryps conflict: the Zeta Gundam, the Hyaku Shiki, and the Mark II Gundam. You'll notice there are some additional goodies that I have working with these three mobile suits and kits. Pictured with the Hyaku Shiki is the Mega Bazooka Launcher. This is a unique weapon that is especially designed for the Hyaku Shiki. It does have its own set of thrusters, so it can actually propel the Hyaku Shiki through space while it catches a ride holding on. There is another mode where the Mega Bazooka Launcher has its own standing platform to hold it steady while the Hyaku Shiki fires it off. Vehicle that the Mark II is seen riding is the Dodai Kai, or the Dodai Custom. Now, it's not to be confused with the flying armor, which is unique to Zeta Gundam as well. The biggest difference between the flying armor and the Dodai Kai is that the Dodai Kai is able to support two mobile suits riding on it at the same time. The Dodai Kai in the anime is basically seen on Earth with Kuraba using these suits. Particularly, you'll see Amuro flying along it, the Hyaku Shiki, but not so much in space. The kits shown here are 5 different individual kits. The RG releases are standard, and the Hyaku Shiki is a Gundam base exclusive. The Dodai Kai and the Mega Bazooka Launcher I bought as P-Bandai exclusives, though you can get the Hyaku Shiki and the Mega Bazooka Launcher as a bundle if you can find it. Compared to the high-grade revive version of the Zeta Gundam, the real grade Zeta leaves a lot to be desired. The one thing it has over the HG counterpart is that it is incredibly detailed and comes built in with decals. The real grade version does not have the Hyper Mega Launcher, the incredibly huge and awesome gun used with the Zeta Gundam, and its transformation is not a parts formation, but a proper transformation that results in the whole kit being incredibly finicky and difficult to pose as a result. On the other hand, the real grade version of the Mark II is incredible. It is probably the best of the early real grade kits and does look great right out of the box. Unlike the other early real grade kits, the parts do not fly off when you handle it, and it is incredibly sturdy even over time. It looks great among other 1/144 Universal Century kits, and I highly recommend it. The Revive Gundam Base Limited Hyaku Shiki has made the cut into my collection simply because of the gold coating. It sets it miles apart from the injection molded plastic Revive version. Thanks for watching, everyone.